New season, new hair, new threats. I should become one of those trailer narrators or something like that with that introduction. But yeah, this is the new season of The 100, season 4, episode 1, which is called Echoes. So yeah, like I said, we've got a new threat on the horizon. Earth could be wiped out from life and all uninhabitable, should I say. What was it, 96% of the world would be uninhabitable, so good news for the 4%, but no, that's going to be in the ocean or whatever, so yeah, unless you want to live under the sea, Little Mermaid startup. No, this is going to be a really, really interesting season with what Ali has foreseen, and now that Ali has been defeated, thank goodness, because oi, 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 she was driving. I mean, not ragging on the actress or the story whatsoever, but she was causing a right mess, and it was like, oh, we need hope. We need hope. So, yeah. And we practically got that at the very last second with Pike being off. I mean, Ali being stopped was beyond hopeful because of the fact that, you know, the evil lady has been defeated. So, yeah. But Pike has caused a lot of problems this season as well, so that was the cherry on top of this bleak season. I don't know how season 4 goes in terms of... I think it's appreciated because I've seen a few comments say, yeah, The 100's a really, really good show, it's just season 3 was a bit... but I enjoyed season 3. It wasn't perfect by any means, but... I mean, nothing really is. I mean, I enjoyed Series 11 of Doctor Who, which I'm not, you know, ragging on and all of that. Series 11 was still pretty fun for me, but it wasn't the best season, not by far. And I guess there's that bias of being a Whovian so much, and you could never imagine your life any other way. But still, it wasn't terrible by any means. There was just some bleak scenarios, questionable decisions like killing Lexaroth, which we hope we don't have any of, like, introduce LGBT character or a badass character and then just off them before their full potential can be unleashed, because I feel like a big chunk of Lex's strength has diminished the moment she got shot, so yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this season has on offer, especially, like I said, the threat with Ali foreseen. So yeah, with that said, let's just get on with the very first episode. This is Echoes, episode number 1 of season 4. Let's go.
You will be charged. Everyone will say the Pike had it coming.
Yeah, to be fair, she's not
Maybe
wrong. At least you got guilt, Belle. That bastard died believing what he believed until the end.
That the world is ending after everything they've been through.
We don't. Not until we know Allie was telling you the truth.
It was the truth.
I mean, it could...
Keep it to ourselves until we know what we're dealing with and how to stop it. Sorry about the... you know.
Smashing my face into a wall or pistol whipping me?
Yes.
Can I plead the chip?
Can I plead the chip? I love it.
Let her go, Echo. Let her go!
Back off.
Fuck off.
Your king is my friend. Let us help.
Why does she have room? She freaking killed Mount Weather and...
I know you destroyed it. Thank you for that. Look around you.
Polis is to be ruled by ambassadors of the coalition. If Asgeta wants it, they must take it by force.
See, this bitch is not helping. Fuck's sake. Why couldn't she have not made it? I'm still pissed with what she did to Gina. And now she's throwing her toys out the pram.
Let me help you, please.
I think he kind of deserves
You're making
that.
friends.
Hello, John.
Especially since he
Glad to see you made it down.
was the biggest ambassador for...
I can use some help with the dead.
Go float yourself. He's deader on you too, Chancellor.
Not wrong. Oh, it's not gonna heal.
I'm okay. We focus on what comes next.
It hurts. Oh, yeah. Clark's like, oh. Oh, she's back up. Awesome. Oh.
That survived the bombs are melting down. Radiation levels are already rising.
In other words,
figure out a
it's
way to
the
fix it.
end of the world.
All of us will be
as
dead
we
in 6
know
months.
it.
Ali told you this.
Yes.
It's easy to
Can you
believe
believe her?
Raven's looking into it.
that she could be lying, but
Even if it's true, that's 6 months away. There are 1,000 Ice Nation warriors on the street who want to kill us today.
They won't kill us. How could you possibly know that? Because we're gonna surrender.
oh well,
She's in.
oh, nice distraction. So wait, did Jaha? Okay, so Jaha was in on this. You're not on Tari. Your name begins with an O. That's my oh my god, Octavia! You are bloody amazing.
What I said about being safe for my people. Your plan was better. Let's go.
Yeah, he's just... There's that worry, isn't there? Not really the most happiest bunch of people as Gedda.
Remember, I saved your life by taking you out of no weather. I'm sorry.
Fuck
I couldn't
you.
bring the girl, but I was following orders, Bellamy.
Following orders.
For us, we slaughter you. That all went away in the City of Light. But it's back now.
Well, it doesn't have to be back.
So here we are. The bullet is
You just
pressing against
encouraged
his
it.
body.
Like, you
Cutting
just
off
said
the
there was
blood
peace
in
in
his
the
brain.
City of Light.
As soon as I get it out, he should wake up. What are the terms of your surrender?
We recognize Ice Nation role, and you honor Lux's coalition, including the 13th clan.
Oh, it's possible a bomb fragment could have lodged in the tissue.
Oh,
Give
shit.
you time to decide.
Oh, no.
Hold up.
I wasn't done talking.
Oh! Don't touch me. Oh, shit. Rowan! Fuck! Oi! That could have been bad.
I have.
Ah! Swords down now, aren't
Help
we?
us. Tell them we're friends.
Best buddies, even lovers. Just...
Where's Antar?
Take her power and rule over everything.
Rowan. Be a decent soul again. Come on. Come on. Oi. Oi! Jasper, come on, no, no!
1 second.
Oh my god, this guy, no, no.
Base, but it's rising when it should be falling. And when it hits red,
We're dead.
Red's never a good sign, is it?
How long?
at the current rate of increase, 6 months. But it'll be bad way before that.
So time could lapse for, oh yay.
Can we stop it? I'm gonna watch the sunrise.
He knows he's on a clock. There's no point. Let it out.
Ada and her friends are locked up.
Hi.
The rest of Sky Group appears to have
That was
fled,
concerning for
but we're ready
Jasper.
to
I
drive
was
them down on your
scared. Don't do it.
Show them one Hada's head while you do it, and they will worship you.
This bitch needs to drop.
Bring honor to your grandfather's crown.
Oh, for God's sake. It's like all of this lucrative talk. It's gonna get to him.
I loved her, Mom. I know.
This bitch, I hate her. I hate her.
Come you say so.
I hope Rowan pulls a nice switcheroo and a nice... Oh.
No.
Sire.
Get out.
Ooh.
Recognize Sky Crew as the 13th clan so we can go home and come up with a way for us to survive.
That's all I just want. They
All
don't
of
want
us.
this beef. No beef.
Listen to her. I let you live. I'll be dead in 6 days, not 6 months. Sorry.
Well, no, don't cater to vultures.
I'll give you this.
Oh, Clark.
He's lost. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't just take that and cut your head off.
I just gave you one. And you know I wouldn't be offering this unless what I was saying would be a commander to rule over Asgetta unless you allow it.
This is the key, Rowan. And not the key to Crazy Land, the key to... the right power. Come on. And you know how much this means to...
Asgetta honors and will defend the coalition of the last true commander.
Good on Rowan.
Confronting, including the 13th clan.
Yeah.
Let it be
Yeah.
known that an attack against Sky Crew is an attack against us all.
Good on Rowan. Good Clark. Good Clark.
You turn the page. You turn the page, and you don't look back. You do better today than you did yesterday.
Oh my god, that's really amazing advice from Kane. Good on Kane.
We'll deserve to survive.
Good Kane. That's an absolutely amazing quote. I want that quote marked. Oh boy, this is not good. Nice dose of fallout. The violent version of Thanos' snap. Oi. Yeah. So that's basically what's going to happen. It's a nice little example of what will happen if we can't save the world. Just probably 10 times more dramatic and sadder and... well, that's all, folks. That was a good episode. That set things up for the horrors of what's to come for Season 4. And, if anything goes the way, like that last scene presented, then yeah, it's definitely gonna be horrific. But I'm sure we'll find a way. I mean, it's supposed to get worse. So, when Raven said, that things are supposed to get worse, before the 6 months are up, I'm assuming that means once we're at a certain point, time will probably elapse. Like, there's going to be a condition that will shorten the time frame. It's just an estimated time at the current condition, from what Raven meant. That's what I'm taking. But we've basically seen what is going to happen if things are not fixed. And it doesn't look promising, does it? Not unless you like being in the most violent way possible. But yeah, it was a really, really great episode. Clark, my god. I mean, I've expressed my thoughts about her a couple of times in this show about how she's such a great character and how she's such an intelligent being, but she's also a very, very strong character, as we saw in this. I mean, she's always been that, but I think this was really, really brutal considering the fact that this is, I don't know how long, I think it's a day after Ali's defeat. But even then, she gave up the flame, and that comment about her saying, I loved her, was absolutely crushing. And then convincing Rowan to spare them so they can find an opportunity to survive, to have a solution to save the apocalypse to come, was an absolute she absolutely nailed it. It was just really, really brilliant to see Clark in her element in this episode in terms of strength, because I think there was a comment by Bellamy earlier in this episode, at the very beginning, I think, where he expressed about the fact that, man, I could do with a break and all of that. And nobody can really doubt how tiresome this whole situation has been for the 100, if anything, because, yeah, it's going to be tiresome for the adults, but the 100 have been through just a little bit more, haven't they, with season 1? Although, then again, whilst they were dealing with grounders, the people on the Ark were thinking of ways to survive and they couldn't tell the future. They weren't thinking, oh, yeah, it's okay, we're going to survive on the Earth. They were literally racking their brains in great ways to make sure that people still survive, and there had to be sacrifices. So it wasn't really the best of time mentality-wise for the people on the Ark either. But especially with this, with the attack on Mount Weather and everything that they've done, especially with the bone marrow shit, and then 3 months later we had to take care of Pike's, with Pike turning Arcadia into hell and the City of Light. It hasn't been the rosiest of situations, especially where things look to be hopeless, because an AI is not an AI that should be programmed to operate smartly is not going to resist whatsoever. So, and literally it was testing times for Clark, because she was on the verge of dying, and people had to do some, I guess, things that are not really comforting. So yeah, well, Murphy can attest for that. So the 100 themselves has been through a lot, but Clark so much, considering the fact she's had this pressure of being a great leader, and a leader who is able to make sure that her people survive, as well as go through pain herself. Lexa, like I said, it's just been really, really heartbreaking to see Clark in this world of hurt, and to see her come to terms with the fact that, to see her really, really badly grieve, as well as the fact that she needs to find a way to convince Rowan to let her live so she can find a way to save the world. It's as well as the fact that she had to give up the flame. So it was really, really heartbreaking to see Clark go through these emotions, and I loved Abby being there for her. And she had to give up part of Lexa, because those are all the commanders, aren't they? So, yeah. She already said her goodbyes, and she's had to say goodbye again. I mean, it's not the rosiest of rides, is it? So it's bloody awful. But, I mean, she's got Bellamy alongside her now, so... But I don't I've already expressed that someone was a complete arsehole about spoilers and all of that, but let's pretend nobody spoiled shit for me. Let's pretend that there's some nice people out there. Well, there are nice people out there, but, the comment section is not, you get the idea. That person, yeah. The person who spoiled shit for me was the person in the last scene. That's me getting my revenge. No, in all seriousness, I was going to say, let's imagine, I have no idea about Bellark fate in terms of the future. I still wouldn't expect anything, because Clark is going through a lot of them. It's like what happened with Bellamy and Gina. I was joking, saying, well, at least Bellark is available, but I wouldn't have expected Bellamy to get with Clark then. Same with Clark with Bellamy, considering the fact that she's still reeling. And I don't know how long this will be for Clark to get over this, because this is her dealing with grief, and she is... I don't know how long it's been since Lexa has actually died. I mean, not that long. It hasn't been that long since Gina died. But it's been days and days for Clark. You have to take in consideration her trip to see Luna. That would have counted for a bunch of days as well. And Bellamy's still reeling, especially with the fact that he confronted Echo today. get onto her in a minute because she's a bitch. So he's still going to be reeling with that on his mind. And there's just different ways of how they both handle grief. And I'm wondering if we're going to see a bit more of Clark's grief come out in this season. We'll just have to wait and see. But Bellamy's got her back, as they make the trip back to try and save the world. Woo. Try. But yeah, I mean, the show has dealt with loss in fantastic ways, especially in this episode. I mean, we saw Jasper in this episode ready to end it all, which is, well, it's not funny, but I did say in the last episode that we saw a scene where Jasper walked off and the scene was focused on him, and I was thinking, oh god, is he going to end it? And then he was ready to end it in this episode. Thank goodness that Monty approached him. We have to find out what's on that letter, though. So probably Monty is going to encounter that letter, because he didn't exactly do a good job of hiding it. So we'll just have to wait and see. Whereas we have no idea where Jasper went off to. Just that he's now not going to end himself because he thinks the Reaper's coming for him anyways, with the fact that everyone's basically on the clock. And Raven has that comment about, well, things are going to get worse, and I don't think there's going to be a solution. That we're going to try, but yeah. So Jasper's basically, accepted that he's on borrowed time, and he's not going to take that way out. He's just going to be like, come at me when you're ready. So, yeah. And I was scared. I was absolutely scared, because I have no idea how Season 4 is going to go in terms of deaths, because we know that Season 3 was a right brutal force in terms of characters dying, with Lincoln, with Lexa. They were dying left, right, and centre, and, yeah, I mean, I have no idea. This season could be worse for all I know. So Jasper could have just died there. But I'm glad that, I'm hoping that there is something for Jasper to live for, because it was great to see Monty and Kobe there for him, and then Jasper's like, he can't take this. And I'm just hoping that before the end does approach, that Jasper finds a way to fight for something, to live on, even though he wishes he was part of Ali's City of Light thing, and now he has to embrace with pain. So does Raven, but I mean, this emotional pain is something that is taking a huge toll on Jasper, as we all know. And we're seeing the after effects of Ali, and how the pain has returned to certain characters like Jaha, which we'll get to in a minute as well. I just do hope that by the end of this, Jasper finds something to fight for, because it's heartbreaking. And this is the thing, Jasper was first introduced as a character who was, I guess, joyful, jokerish. I mean, he was jokerish in the first episode of season 3, smiling at the prospect of death. Not that kind of level, though. You get the idea. Him and Monty were like, oh, these two are awesome and funny. And his story has just taken a complete 180 in terms of how he's coped with Maya. And it didn't help matters that he was ready to move on with Shay, and then she just bites the dust in the same episode he encountered her with. So I just hope that there is some silver lining for Jasper, because the guy deserves a break. Like, cut him some slack. Echo came back. I was not ready to see her again after what she did to Gina, and it is still. I mean, I like the fact that Bellamy did have to keep his cool, considering the fact that she allowed Gina to die, and then she comes up with like, "Well, I did save you." Oof. And I have a feeling there seems to be a prominent focus, especially with her and Rowan this season. So, that's the idea I'm getting, like her, and since Indra, I'm not too sure about. Everyone else has kind of died, haven't they? Lincoln, Ontari, Lexa. So I feel like in terms of grounder aspects, we're going to focus on Rowan and Echo this season, especially if Rowan is basically the temporary commander of the throne, or caretaker, but I like to call it temporary, because it's literally the same thing, so yeah. As well as the fact that he does have that edge, considering he let Clark live. Everyone was like, Clark's head, Clark's head, Clark's head. Especially with the fact that Echo tempted the idea of it, which was like, ugh. So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to see how things go at Polis, considering Kane and Abby have to keep an eye on him so that no shenanigans goes down in terms of people at Polis. But yeah, it was really, really great to see. Well, great. I mean, that's the thing, though. I think Echo is an interesting character, especially in this episode, because we've only gotten small doses of her in previous episodes. She only appeared for the one time in season 3, I believe. Yeah. And was controversial with her going along with the fact that, with her basically being in cahoots with what happened at Mount Weather, by duping Bellamy and co. And then we saw her a bit in season 2 as well, when she was partnered up with Bellamy, and she was partnered up with Bellamy again, in a sense, in the aspect that they did have some interactions in this episode, of course, with Bellamy being the perfect distraction as Clark and co was trying to rescue Rowan, which they did manage to do successfully, because that was, once the jig was up and Echo came back, she was ready to lob off that head herself, and thank God Rowan saved her just at the last minute. Just literally, because she was like, it's always the last second, though. What I don't get, though, is character-wise, like, in terms of the realism of discussions, I'm not sure why Clark was like, I'm ready to surrender, full stop. I get it, entertainment's sake, like, ooh, it's gonna keep the audience on edge and that. But in terms of the realism, in terms of dialogue, I was thinking, like, why would Clark say, I'm ready, we're gonna surrender, and then full stop it, instead of, we're gonna surrender, or, we're gonna surrender but not surrender. You get the idea. I don't know. Like, I do feel like people are gonna be like, what? And then she continues. But even then, it still feels a bit forced, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my complaint there. But it could just be me. You don't have to trust me for my critiques and all of that. Yeah, like I said, though, it was a good job that Rowan did wake up as the swerve went into action, and Bellamy did a pretty decent job, even though Echo was like, nah, I'm not having this, and then it got a bit heated, didn't it? And then Murphy darted off, despite the fact that Bellamy was like, oh, you got my back, pal. Which I don't blame him, considering the fact that Imori was a bit shaky about staying in Polis, considering the fact that she's not welcome here, and Murphy and Imori just basically want a break, I guess, so yeah, like Murphy tried his best. Well, he did convince Imori to go back to Arcadia and all of that, considering the fact that she's felt that unwelcome feeling, and I feel so bad for Imori, because she is a decent soul. It's just that the City of Lights did screw her up, and Murphy wants the best for her. So not just the fact that he has strong feelings for Imori, but Bellamy asked Murphy to have his back during this whole ruse to distract Echo, and things could have gone south. So Murphy darting off is not to be blamed whatsoever, considering the fact that things could turn south, and yeah, this might not look good. So yeah, so I don't blame Murphy for darting off. Jaha, we did focus a bit on the after effects of the City of Light, which I've just mentioned about earlier. Especially Jaha, because that was the guy I was so interested. I mean, there was a lot of people who were expressing their guilt, Kane especially, but Jaha was the most interesting person in terms of reactions, considering, like I said, he's been Ali's biggest kiss-ass since day one. And I don't know, I'm still shaky with him, considering the fact that, I mean, it wasn't his fault, and there is some irony saying, oh, it's not your fault, and then there's Jaha, and it's like, you. But this was before Ali did get it, like, into his head. I don't know if that's got to do with the oxygen dealing with his head when he travelled from one station to another back in episode 2 of season 2, and it's done some bit of damage to his brain, which would contribute to the City of Light and have him believing this faith. But yeah, it's going to take me a bit to be okay with Jaha after what he did, but we'll just have to wait and see. But it was really, really interesting to see him have guilt, and I think some clarity for what felt like the first time since forever. So yeah, and I do not blame the people's reactions, especially if people have said, well, Jaha was the biggest influence, like he was the one that went to Polis and talked with Ontari before she got chipped. So I'm sure people would have gotten a heads up that he was the biggest influencer of the City of Light. So yeah. But yeah, it was a great episode. I think I've gotten around all of my points, apart from the fact that I loved Kane's comment about you turn the page and you don't look back, you do better today, what was it? You do better today, and then you did yesterday. I think that was the comment. That needs to be on a freaking wall. No, that was a really, really great motivational quote from Kane, and I really, really loved it, considering the fact that Bellamy's already expressed his regrets regarding siding with Pike, and he always has this feeling of guilt whenever he does something controversial, as we've seen in season 1. And I love Kane giving him that little pep talk, so that was really, really great stuff as well. So good on Kane. But yeah, it should be very, very interesting with how we've set up things in terms of season 3. Not season 3, season 4. We've dealt with season 3. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how things do go, if Clark and Co can save the world, and how long before shit inevitably hits the fan with Rowan, especially if Echo's there, because Echo, I have a feeling my opinions on her will shift, but we'll just have to wait and see, because they always do with the show. I mean, look at my views on Bellamy, Murphy, Indra, I guess. So yeah. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right. If you want to check out more of my content, you can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!